Okay, we're going to do some simple, basic watercolor techniques to get us started on our watercolor assignment. So what you're going to do is take the paper from your notebook. I gave you guys these papers a long time ago, beginning of the semester, and you should have some watercolor. I believe you should have labeled it with the W in there. So you want the watercolor paper because it's thicker paper. Do not use paper from the drawer, okay? And then very lightly with a pencil. Okay, I'm going to do mine dark, but do yours lightly. All right, you're going to put a line down the middle, and then in between these dots, and in between these dots. So we have 6 different sections. And I'm going to go through, and I'm going to show you some different techniques. Now, you need to be taking some notes on another piece of paper, because you need to understand what these techniques are, because when we do our project, you're going to have to tell me which techniques you use. So please make sure you understand which ones are which, and you're going to have to label these. All right, the first technique that we're going to do, first of all, make sure you have your palette, water, brush, and some paper towel. So I had some paper towel there. Pull this down. And first thing we're going to do is do what is called a wet into wet technique. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on here. If you want to, that's fine too. It should be wet into wet. All right, and I want you to draw, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Draw a large shape. I don't care which one. I'm going to do a triangle. Pretty big, taking up the room. And then draw another shape inside of here. All right, nothing too elaborate. Do that lightly. You want to do it lightly. All right, and then I want you to take your clean water and a brush, and on the outside of that line, I just want you to put some water. So what we're doing is we're wetting the paper down. That is the wet into wet. You'll understand the technique here in a minute. And then put some out here on the outside. Hopefully you didn't go all the way to the bottom. If you did, you can go past that line a little bit. It's not going to hurt it. And you can go over your pencil. It's a good thing about watercolors, it's transparent. So we're going to come out just a little bit. You don't have to go all the way, okay? Then what I want you to do is I'm going to put a little bit of color into my palette, and then remember, we got to get these charged. So choose a couple of colors. I'm going to do blue, kind of get that charge, go into my water. So it's wet, and then I'm going to put it and just kind of drop it in. And you'll see it should only go where your paper is wet. So we'll put a little bit here. I'll come around the corner here a little bit. All right, so make sure that you're only painting in the wet area. And then I'm going to switch colors here a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of purple in there. Purple with my blue. And then add a little bit more. Kind of coming around. But you see the wet on wet technique, what that does is it kind of gives a blurry kind of tie-dye effect. It's kind of cool. And you can see how it kind of runs. So not a lot of control on this. You can go straight in with the color too. But it kind of gives a neat effect. So you can also do what's called dropping in color. So I'm going to just drop in some colors on top of my other colors. And then I can go back. And I can even drop in some of these, the darker blue in there. Go back through here a little bit. All right, so it kind of fuzzes out and comes out a little bit. So that's called wet on wet. Oh, and I was supposed to, and I didn't do it. All right, so now we're going to go just inside here with clean water. Right, just inside that circle, and we're going to drop some more color in there. You can do a different color, you can do the same thing. But notice it should stop at the edge where there is no more water, unless your water went further. Okay? So that's called the wet into wet technique.